with Just Friends really sort of launching you into, escape velocity here a little bit. Movie did 51 million box office on a less than $10 million budget. If I have any of these numbers wrong, please jump in and correct me.
Nah, I like those numbers. Those are good. Those
good. Let's go with that.
My sense of it is that at this point you've been asked everything there maybe you could be asked about the movie. And I just wonder, is there a Ryan Reynolds story? Is there an Amy Smart story? Is there an alternate ending, Just Friends story that you haven't been able to tell because no one's asked the questions?
Right. I will say this. This is a story. I don't tell this story very often, if at all. And this is like the pain of being the writer. I mean, you're going to have to give up control. That like it's sold. It's not yours anymore. There's a director, there's actors, it's collaborative. My goal was always to befriend the director and have them want me to be part of it. Have me on set and not just dismissed and oh God, the writer's here. Put him in a quick cameo and then get him the hell out of here. Like usually that's the writer's journey. With me, I worked with the director for a couple of weeks before we even had everything set up. Then when we knew we had Ryan, we did another pass, like trying to, add stuff that we thought he would have fun with. But then there was an ending that was different than what's in the movie. And the ending that's in the movie, the reason why it's different is because there was an incident with an actor who was in the movie who, we shot it in Canada and he got in some trouble back here in the States. And we were able to sneak him back into Canada to shoot him out, but they needed him back. And so we didn't have enough time to really do a couple of scenes that were supposed to be in the movie. And basically, they came to me and they said, we need to write him out of the movie in this scene, which is like 2 scenes prior to where he was supposed to leave the movie. And it's like, oh, so now there's going to be this Frankenstein scene that's different. So I'm trying to wrap my head around it. And the director comes up to me, Roger Kummel, and he's just like, hey, I workshopped this scene with the actors. Let's just put it on for you. And they do the scene. And I'm like, that's different. I don't know. That's a lot. And it does I have a pet peeve in movies where a character's playing everything masterfully and then they slip up and they say the thing that they shouldn't. They go, oops. The whole movie, they've been doing everything perfectly. And now they suddenly say something stupid and it blows the whole cover. And I was like, I'd love to not do that. And I'm trying to figure it out. And I run off set and I'm like working and I have something that I think could work. And when I go back on set, the door is locked and the PA is standing in front of it with his arms crossed. He's like, they told me not to let you back.
Oh my gosh, bro.
Yeah. So I was just like, what? I pound on the door and they're like, go away. And I'm like, mother. And I'm like, God damn it. And then out of spite, I ran over to the craft service table and I just ate everything there. I ate every fucking snack. I was like, these guys going to want a Slim Jim or a fucking M&M? There's not going to be a fucking thing left. It's just...
and if you couldn't eat it, he licked it. You know what I'm saying? Like, screw you guys.
Exactly. Put it on my armpit. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I was so pissed, but I was just like, I get it. And the director came up to me after. He's like, look, I'm so sorry. Look, this sucks. The studio forced this on us. I was going to have a mutiny and I could have an actor mutiny on my hands. They came up with stuff. Look, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it is like I do watch the movie and there's this weird scene where a lot of stuff happens and it's just, it's not my favorite.
Is it cringe? That's what happens every time you're like,
That a similar situation, not at that scale, obviously, happened to me. And it's really what took me out of journalism formally, which was that I was asked to write a really personal piece that was going to be not a non, if you're in journalism, a lot of times you're just writing copy, right? Yep. The cat stuck in the tree and you just tell the inverted triangle and you just tell the story of what happened with the cat in the tree.
Not if you're text, but we'll get to that later.
Exactly. And so I was getting to write this actual piece where I got to show off some of my writing prowess and I turned it in and they had changed it dramatically. The editors did, and published it. And, you know, I still had to answer for what was written to the people I was writing about and just to everybody around. Like, is that what really, and it was like my name on the byline. And I just was like so disenchanted with that whole idea. And I knew that if I went and worked for even a bigger paper, then that would be that situation on steroids. And so the thing I empathize with you the most on is the fact that people look to you, like you said at the top of the conversation, they call you every Christmas and they're like, hey, your movie's on. And every year you have to say, yeah, it's not exactly what I wrote though.
Well, here's the thing. It's never going to be exactly what you wrote.
True.
That's the thing. And I know that going in. This was particularly painful because we had it. We were going to shoot the movie, the script, everything was set. And then this fucking bizarro thing. Put it this way. This poor actor, I feel terrible for him. You know, when he got to set, he was engaged to be married to a famous actress. And you know, I mean, I could name names. You know, it's like one of those things. Like
you don't have to.
Okay, so he was engaged to marry this actress, and then by the time the movie was coming to a close, she had not only left him, but had gotten engaged to another huge movie star.
Oh, the bigger, better deal.
Yeah,
within the time frame that the movie was being made, bro.
How do you like that, Nick?
Come on,
You enjoy that, Nick?
That's gotta hurt.
Yeah.
And then when he went back to the States during a layoff, you know, when we didn't need him for a little bit, he got drunk. He got into a DUI situation. So yeah, things were bad. He had to go to court. And then we were, like I said, we were able to sneak him back in, and they were like, we got to write him out of the movie quick. And so, you know, that's a very unusual situation. That is not the norm. Look, whatever, you know what? It sucked the scene, but it gave me a fun story. So, you know, you take what you can get no matter what. You know,
and it wasn't the end for you. You got to go on and do
exactly.
No, it was a fun story, and a good paycheck, You know what I'm saying? Like that's one of those that you know, hopefully is the everlasting gobstopper, right? Because like you said, it continues to get played. So as long as it's playing,
yeah, exactly. And speaking of gobstoppers, yeah, I ate those too. Those were at the snack.
Really? Those were at the crafty table?
No.
Okay. I was going to say. Okay.
No. He was sucking on them, spitting them back in the box. You know? Why are you so sticky?
Enjoy. They're delicious. Believe me, they're delicious.
Why are you so sticky? It's just the wildest question.